Hey everyone, this is Ellie, the Mer Priestess, and I have with me today a lovely person who's also my very good friend, and this is Malvina, everyone.
Hello.
And Malvina does so many things, my goodness, so I'm going to have to read the list here. You are a psychologist, a lucid dreaming teacher, a Hatha yoga and yoga monkey teacher, and intuitive life coach.
That's right.
Along with being an artist, you also do poetry, you paint, you did that beautiful, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a beautiful mandala painting behind Malvina that she made for Henry and I as a wedding gift. So, gosh, you do all sorts of stuff. But you were actually just saying earlier that one of your biggest passions, if not the biggest passion for you, is lucid dreaming and teaching others about lucid dreaming.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Great. I was just wondering why you invited me. I was just like, I'll just come, I'll see what's gonna happen, and I'm thinking, why am I here?
We're going to talk about an amazingly interesting topic that I think I actually need to get more into myself, and maybe it will inspire other people to explore this, because we spend a good portion of our lives dreaming, don't we?
1/3 or something, they say.
Yeah, so we might as well make use of it.
Yep.
Right?
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start by, well, I did my intro, but do you want to tell us any more about yourself and what you do? And
I think you did.
Okay.
Right, so
okay, thank you. So, let's see. I guess I'll start by asking you, what is lucid dreaming? How would you describe it or define it?
So, lucid dreaming is a dream in which you are conscious that you are dreaming. Basically, you are awake in a dream. You know that you're dreaming. You know, normal dream is, normal unconscious dream is where you are dreaming, that things are happening, you have the story going on, the situation, and you believe in it. You just feel and know that this is what it is, this is the reality. And the lucid dream is when you just actually know that everything what is happening in front of you, it's a dream, it's a projection of you. So that's basically what is a lucid dream. Conscious dream, in other words.
Conscious dream.
Conscious.
We're burning some incense, and I think I'm getting a little bit high off of it. I think it's like numbing my tongue even or something. So anyway, yeah, so that's something that most of us don't do, lucid dreaming. I know I don't. I think I had very brief moments where I almost lucid dreamed.
Okay.
I think a lot of people have had that, right? Where maybe once in a while most of us have a moment where we're like, am I dreaming? But then it usually doesn't go any further than that for a lot of people, right?
Yes.
And then they're like, yeah, they're like, convinced it's a dream.
Yeah,
and then
this is like the so-called pre-lucid dream.
Pre-lucid.
When you start, noticing that maybe perhaps something is not right here, but you not go all the way to get fully lucid. So yeah, it's like a pre-lucid dream.
Yeah. So, let's see. How did you get started with lucid dreaming? How did you start this journey that's a big part of your spiritual journey?
Well, this is an interesting story, because I think I was around 5 years old. I don't remember exactly my age, but I remember one of my first lucid dreams, and I think this is what inspired me to try further exploration as a kid. So, in a dream, as I was walking down the stairs to one little shop which we have just in front of my windows in Poland, in a small city in Poland, there is like a little shop which looks like a wooden cottage. And they have this, things to eat and stuff like that, all the basics at that time. I was little, and there was a situation in Poland, so there was not much. And there were this amazing, tasty little red jellies coated in sugar, which I adored. I just loved them because it was such a luxury to get them. And my grandma, sometimes she was bringing, and I was always eating especially the red ones, the strawberry ones. So as I'm dreaming, going down the stairs, entering the shop, I see the like a whole I don't know, whole place just on the right side, on the left side, was filled with these jellies. And I start feeling this desire to have them. And as soon as I had that strong desire to taste them, to have them, I knew I have no money to get them. But the desire was so strong. I become lucid somehow, I don't know how, but I start noticing that maybe it's a dream. And I tried to froze the ladies which were working there just to get these jellies, and it worked. I remember with the intention of my mind, I just froze them so they couldn't move, so they couldn't get me, they couldn't tell me you can't get them, you know.
Sounds like one of those like TV shows, you know, those fantastical shows where you can freeze time.
Yeah. Exactly, that's what happened. So I froze them, I grabbed the jellies and I ran from the shop. Yeah? As I was walking back on the stairs, I think I was becoming less lucid. I start gaining again the sensation that everything what I just done is real. So I start feeling so guilty about them that I start walking back to the shop to give it back, feeling so damn guilty. And I woke up. And I woke up with this guilt. And I was like, what was that?
Wow.
So after some time, I met a girl at school. It was primary school, I don't know, maybe first or second class. It was really little. And this girl, she was not really like really liked, because I didn't know that time why, but I always been so curious, so I wanted to find out who she is, why people, like kids, talk badly about her and who she really is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As we were walking home from school, so she just passed by next to me, then she turned back, she started talking to me and stuff like that, and we had a conversation. And she told me that she has this gift, that she can manifest things, and she manifested a big box of money for her parents. Wow. And that's why she has this amazing Barbie doll she was showing me. Wow. Because this Barbie doll was really expensive and normal kids could never afford this, so that's why we were wondering where did she get it from. And she said that she has that gift, that she can manifest the money, and she gave it to the parents, and the parents gave her the doll. So I was like listening to her, like of course I was thinking maybe it's not true, she's lying, that's why kids don't like her, because she tells the stories and they don't believe her. But that gave me an idea. I went home and I started thinking about that, what she said. And I remember this dream where I wanted to get the jellies. Yes. And I was thinking, what would happen if I would get the jellies and I woke up with them? If I would wake up with them in my hands, you know, that was my logic that time.
Yeah.
And so before going to sleep, I was intensely thinking about what she said, and I said, I want to manifest a big box of money. So I will do that. So I don't know if it was that night or a few nights later when I was thinking intensely about that, I literally had the dream in which I was conscious and I created with the will. I don't know how I done it, it was just natural to me. And most of the kids have it, this ability to create with the thought and intention. So I created that box and I grabbed it and I woke up consciously. I woke up with intention to wake up. And I woke up without the box. Right?
Good try, good try.
Good try. I tried a few more times to manifest or find money or jewelers in my dream and bring it up, but it didn't work, so I gave up. But I had many different experiences, like for example, I had, I know it sounds freaky, but I had that kind of a light coming into my dream. It was like a yellow-white light, and I called it God. I was telling to my mom that I had a dream that God came to me and he told me many things, but I don't remember. I think I was just too small to basically understand. When I was dreaming of it and I was hearing it in my dream, I understand perfectly. But when I woke up and the little girl woke up in me, then I just could not repeat it logically. I could not just verbalize it.
So you mean that when we wake up, as many of us experience, we can lose the memory so easily.
Yes.
2 is your little girl perspective consciousness couldn't fully grasp what was being communicated or transmitted to you.
Yes, that's what I experienced. It's not what I believe, that's what I experienced. Because after that I also had many dreams when I would read huge books in the language which I didn't understand.
Wow.
And I was able, it felt like I'm reading all night.
Wow.
And while I'm reading it, I understand it. But when I wake up, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm tired because I read all night. and I was saying to my mom, I read this book in different language and I don't know what it was. But while I was reading, I understood it perfectly. Mm. So I had different experiences like that, and I remembered them. So as I was growing up, I was keep having lucid dreams naturally. For some reason, I was very analytical girl, and I always had a lot of insights about things. I was more of an observer. Mm-hmm. So that was giving me this kind of a meditative mode of being, I would say, as a little girl. I wasn't very active. I would be more a thinker. Mm-hmm. Than having fun and all these things. I was really a thinker, kind of a kid. So I think that it influenced the way I was dreaming as well, and my dreams were lucid as well. So I was having fun in the dream. I would try things which my mother would not allow me to try. For example, I really wanted to have a roller skates, and I couldn't have them because my mom was worried that I was too small and stuff, but I really wished to have them. So I was using this ability in the lucid dream, and I was just running and using this roller skates, or I was swimming, or I was riding horses because my passion was horses. I always was collecting little postcards with horses. So I could make my dreams come true. I could have fun.
Literally.
My first kiss was in a lucid dream. It felt weird.
It felt weird?
Yes, because I think I wasn't yet mature enough to understand what kiss is, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I had that, because I've seen in the movie I wanted, and I was in love with some boys band. I'm allowed to say it. But then, I had that romantic imagination already was start awakening me when I was a very young teenager.
So you were able to even have your dream boy from the boy band be your first kiss in your dream. That's amazing.
Yes, that's one of the things. And then when I was 15 years old, I had a boyfriend at that time who was into Buddhism, and he had lots of beautiful books, which I was so lucky to be around and could read. So he was, I told him the abilities I have, and because I always talked about it, because I wanted to find out how many people have the same experience as I want to see if that's normal or what's going on here. And he showed me books about Tibetan Buddhism, where I could read about out-of-body experiences. And I would not describe that time what I had. It was out-of-body experience, but that gave me this relief that, now I understand myself more. That it really resonated with me, the philosophy, the explanation of how mind works from this perspective, and that gave me this relief and also more interest into Buddhism, Hinduism, and the cultures which are about dreaming and lucid dreaming. So I started having my first experiments with out-of-body experience, and it really worked. And we did experiences like he would write something and left it on the desk at his place, and I would come out of body at night, and I would go to see and try to read what he wrote.
Wow, your boyfriend at the time did this experiment with you.
Yes.
Wow.
And because he was really supportive spiritually, and he wanted me to develop in this, and he found it perfectly fine, and he made me feel really confident and comfortable about what's going on inside of me. So he was the one who was showing me different things, and he was making experiments with me. And it actually did happen. I could go, but I could never read. That time I was not informed that it's really hard to read in dreams.
Oh, okay.
And this is one of the signs you can spot. The dream sign is when you try to read something in a dream. Usually when you read it a second time, sometimes they say that even first time when you read is not really easy. But I do somehow read in lucid dreams and in dreams generally. But they say it's one of the dream signs that you cannot read. It means you're dreaming, so you can use this as a trigger to know that you're dreaming. So yeah, we've been doing things like that. And then because I've always been interested in mind and spirituality and how mind works and all these things, I went to study psychology. And I wanted to learn more about lucid dreaming. Unfortunately, I haven't met any literature that time in Polish which I could, you know, study and understand more. And I was writing a lot. I was making projects from lucid dreaming and stuff, but I could not, like, I didn't feel, I think, enough support from my teachers to do that. So I wanted to write master thesis from lucid dreaming, how we can use it as a therapy. But I did not get any promoter or like a person who could help me with that, so I had to change the topic and stuff like that, but I did not give up. So it's a long story actually how I got into it, because I got into Tibetan Buddhism. I found a teacher called Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche, who is a teacher of yoga of dreaming, and I got deeper into it, more spiritual approach, how you can really use it to heal yourself or to generally recognize the nature of things, the nature of reality. So I got more into it. Before, you know, it was only fun, sex in dreams and different kind of pleasures and making my dreams come true and flying. And then since I met him, I was around 20, I started seeing lucid dreaming as an amazing tool, psychological, spiritual tool. So I started developing in this way. It's a long story actually how I could say about how I got into it and how I got into teaching, but it's going to be in my book, so you can read it.
So you're writing a book right now
Yes,
on
I'm
lucid
yes.
dreaming and how to do it and what it's about and how it's significant?
Yes, actually I'm basically wanting to write my story because there's a lot of experiences which I would like to talk about, not only in dreaming but in my whole life, because I want to show how important dreaming is. Like I feel since I was a little kid, I live in these two worlds, and this is one big world. They are mixing, you know, the things which are happening during the day, I can recognize them when I'm dreaming. And the things I'm dreaming, I recognize them during the waking life. So they really exchanging the information. So for me to understand my psychological state right now, I can go to lucid dream and find out what's going on inside of me. If I have some unease in me, something's going on, or there's even external situation which I don't understand. When I got into the lucid dreaming state, then I can get the answers which I need. So for me, it's always been these two worlds as one. And I would like to encourage people and kids and parents of the kids to take it more seriously. I mean, just to pay attention to it, to the dreams of their kids, to not discourage them. Because it doesn't matter if it's a big person or a small person. Their dreams, they say something about them to the parents. And their abilities, they develop since they're kids. And I would like to encourage people to just basically pay attention to our dreams. Try to be lucid dreamers. Because when we become lucid dreamers, we also become more lucid in our waking life. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually an amazing thing. And there's so many benefits it brings.
Okay, so you left that off in a really interesting, intriguing place for me, because you said that that could help people in their waking lives. So could you explain that? How can lucid dreaming make our lives better? Why is it a worthwhile practice overall?
Wow, you know, this question is really broad, and or I can give really broad answers. And I can only pick a few because I don't want to take a few hours talking about lucid dreaming. I talk about all this on my courses, which last 5 weeks now. I actually need to extend them to 6 weeks, so I do it like once a week for 2.5 hours talk about all the benefits, about how to lucid dream and all these details. Lucid dreaming from different cultures, different traditions. So there's a lot of information, how and stuff like that. So I try to keep it short.
Okay.
Basically, lucid dreaming helps you to understand the world and yourself better. Because when you are in a lucid dream, when you are conscious of your projections, because everything in a dream is you. The scenery, the people, the things, everything is you. Everything is created from the material, which is your psychology. This is in the bubble of your psychology, I would say. Which also you can get it access to different kind of dimension, and collective psychology as well. But as we talk about lucid dreaming only, I lost the plot.
Okay. That's okay. You were saying that
when you're in a lucid dream and you're conscious of your projections, you basically know that you know this is all you.
Yeah, it's all part of you, right?
But at the same time, it's not, because you can choose to react, you can choose to act consciously, or you can choose to observe it and learn from it about yourself. You basically can learn how to be an observer, a mindful observer of the projection of your own mind. When you learn that thing, then when you are not dreaming, when you are dreaming in this waking reality, because that's what it is. Most of the time we are on the autopilot. We are repeating the programs, unconscious or subconscious programs we have printed within our psyche. So as we live as an autopilot and we repeat things, we are just not conscious of our projections. We tend to do a lot of things which are not kind to other people or to ourselves, because we just repeat as robots things. But as we become more conscious of our projections, observe ourselves more, see that we actually in some moments we are not really seeing things as they really are. We are not seeing ourselves as we really are. We are not seeing situations and other people as we really are, but because we are seeing our projections. Then we also have a choice to react. It's actually not a big choice, you just react, right? But on some level I think you can also be conscious of that you are reacting. But you can act consciously or just observe. You are more, you can have more clarity, I think, about your life, about what's going on. And that way, when you're conscious, you just can't be unkind or crazy, you know what I mean? When you're conscious, you just, you're filled with, you just see things as they are, and you just can stay lucid and help other people also be like that. And or you can be more compassionate or understanding of projections of other people. When you're in a situation when there is a conflict between you and somebody else, and you can clearly see that this person is just projecting, then you have also a choice. You can react, you can act consciously, or you can just observe, or you can act in a totally different way just to bring some light into the situation. So definitely through lucid dreaming we learn to have this space, like a conscious space where everything can happen, everything can come and go, and we are not as judgmental, I think, as we would be if we are all the time unconscious, living in programs we have printed in our psychic, and etc. So the first thing is lucid living.
I like that term, lucid living.
Yeah, you become more mindful, I guess, as well. Or you can become more mindful as you lucid dream and you experience things in the dream. The other thing is you have access to the information, to the laboratory of knowledge about yourself and the world, and especially about yourself, because your subconscious, your best friend, is your subconscious, who we kind of suppressed has informations which we need.
Hmm.
Not only our dark sides, the shadow sides, the suppressed psychological material, but also our talents, our potentials, secrets,
The
of
latent
our soul.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can access them through lucid dreaming.
Wow.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You can. It's like like consciousness standing face to face with subconsciousness without the filter.
Right.
It's like, for example, you go to a hypnotherapist and you have this person who helps you to go through these things and to bring out the things from the subconscious or to program the subconscious. But you always have this person who is mediator. Yes. And here not. In lucid dream, you just see the things as they are in there, and you can face them. You can choose to face them if you want to. So that's another thing. I don't know if you're aware of that. Our brain doesn't see a difference between what we are imagining, what we are actually seeing and experiencing, and what we are dreaming about. If you have an unconscious dream and you believe that whatever is happening is real, you have emotional reaction, you have physiological reaction, yes? When you are conscious in a dream, you can learn. Because if your brain doesn't see the difference, if you imagine, dream or do things, and it creates neural pathways anyway, then when you are in a lucid dream, you can learn something. You can create new neural pathways in your brain. So you can learn, I don't know, how I learned driving a car. I was really scared of cars. I thought I will never drive a car. No, it's not for me. I loved motorbikes and I was learning since I was a kid riding the motorbike, but cars, no. So I decided I'm gonna learn how to drive a car in my lucid dream. That was when I was studying psychology. At that time I had loads of lucid dreams almost every day. It was a period of my life really, really creative in this kind of area. So I was having a lucid dream. I was waking up somehow in my city. I remembered that I wanted to drive a car, so I created this car. Or sometimes even I was waking up, I was getting lucid in a dream when I was in the car already, and then I was driving this car. And in my city I was driving the streets and everything, and I was just getting used to it. I was habituating myself to the situation where I'm sitting in a car and driving it. I maybe didn't know how to use the gears, anything yet.
Yeah.
But somehow I got used to it. So when I went for my first class, the instructor, he was surprised that I'm so confident behind the wheel. He said, "Have you ever drove before?" And I said, "Yeah, in my dream."
Oh my God! How must he have responded to that?
Well, we continued the topic, so I explained here about lucid dreaming.
Okay.
Yeah, but I always love it. This is a funny story. Right?
Yeah.
So that created the neural pathways in my brain responsible for car driving or the confidence behind the wheel. So that's one of the things we can do. Another thing, in the same way as brain doesn't see the difference, we can heal our body or heal ourselves psychologically. If it's about the body thing, we can create the neural pathways as the brain to send the proper signals to the place of ailment or whatever it is in us. So we can do that in a dream in a way, like, for example, we can apply our hands to the place where we feel it needs healing, and say affirmation, I am healed, I am healed, I am healed. All these things which these people who are teaching the law of attraction talks about. What we vibrate, we become. What we think, we become. So they use a lot of affirmations to get what they need and to become who they want to be. The same things happens as we are lucid dreaming. So basically we can heal, we can do it by imagining this light coming from our hands in a dream, or just by saying the affirmation, I am healed, or lately I must say that it's a personal thing, but I think everyone like not everyone, but a lot of people in London suffers from low vitamin D.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was on holidays in Poland, I did like all the checkup and stuff, and I checked that my vitamin D is very low. So I decided that's going to be a nice challenge. I will ask in a lucid dream to heighten my levels of vitamin D. And the same night I had a lucid dream, I remembered I want to do that. And I said something like, which came to me spontaneously, there was a sunshine in the dream, and I said, with the power of the sun, I ask you to, I don't know how to say in English, uplift or raise the levels of vitamin D in my body to the optimum level. So I repeated it a few times, and then, you know, I had a normal dream. I woke up. I don't know if this really worked. I had no chance to go and check my blood test.
Yeah.
But definitely it felt better. Definitely felt better. You can do it as well, you know, during the day when you visualize. You can heal yourself as well. And there's a lot of experiments and you know, scientific researches which prove that our thoughts can heal, our imagination, visualization can heal. Also the placebo effect is really well known.
Yeah.
So you can do it even more with bigger power in the lucid dream, because you do it directly. And they say that the mind in a dream is like 7 times more powerful than in a waking state.
Really?
Because you don't have, you don't have limitation of your senses and your body. You basically work on your psychological or energetical material. So you can heal in this way, or there's a lot of things I could talk about that here, but I just want to give you some short things.
Amazing.
Yeah, you can heal psychologically as well. How? For example, I healed my spider phobia. I know that a lot of lucid dream teachers, they talk about this example, but it's actually what happened to me. I was really scared of spiders and all the bees and all these insects, and even if there was the smallest spider in a room, I would not enter the room until my dad come from work and remove it.
Wow, okay, so that was a real phobia.
I didn't know how, you know. Now I know how phobia is forming, and it's a false belief about something which is so strong and so unconscious that it's just hard to get rid of. But what happened to me is that I decided that I'm gonna heal this when I was studying, because this keep coming, you know. I left on the first floor, next to the garden, so the spiders sometimes creeping into my room. So I realized I am scared of them and I don't know why. So I decided I'm gonna do this experiment, and I already knew about the therapy, the integral therapy, and I decided I'm going to do that in my dream. So when I became lucid, I called the spiders in and I start putting them on myself to habituate. I was scared, but in a dream, when you are lucid, you know everything is a projection of your mind. The fear is just gone. So I put the spiders on me and I habituated to it, and I realized there's nothing to be scared of, and I never had that fear of spiders anymore.
Wow.
And not only spiders, I've been very heavy bitten as a kid by bees, wasps actually. So when I saw the wasp, I ran away. I could not eat anything around the wasp because I was afraid it would go sit on my banana or whatever it was. And that also was gone. I started understanding that there are creatures who doesn't want to harm me, you know, don't want to harm me. It's just my imagination that they have bad intentions to harm me. Where did it came from? From the culture, from the family, the way they reacted to the insects. That you need to kill, you need to kill, you need to kill, otherwise it will bite you, otherwise it will do something to you. But as a kid, I didn't know why they do this. For me, it was, oh, they must have bad intentions because they want to bite me. And my consciousness shifted about that, and I stopped being afraid of all these insects. So, but thanks to Lucid Dream, I got rid of that. So you can heal phobias, you can meet your shadows. You can meet all the psychological material we suppressed. We can ask for it even. We can even ask the shadow to show up in our dream and integrate it to ourselves.
Wow. Like visualizing in the dream, merging with the shadow, you mean?
Not visualizing. Visualizing you can do in a waking life. You directly hugging them. You directly interact with your shadows. You ask them to come in. Please, shadow, for the well-being of all. It's nice to add that. Come to me.